What? How to survive a nuclear apocalypse for $72 for 72 quid? Guys, welcome to the channel The Modern Survivalist. As always, if you want to learn more about all of this stuff, survival and preparedness, you have the channel with a ton of information already. You also have my books, Surviving the Economic Collapse, with its own little dollar sign nuke going on there, and street survival skills. These are things that will help you get a lot better prepared and get ready for things that actually happen. Now, one of the things that people are really scared of is the potential conflict escalating to something for something more, sort of like that, right? Yeah, sure, interesting. Well, apparently the Daily Mail says we can survive this for 72 quid? How is it exactly that it works? Experts reveal simple steps to build your own bunker without any special equipment or DIY skills. Well, I'm a survival expert too. Let me chip in on this thing. What's going on? What is it that you're procuring with 72 pounds that allows you to survive a nuclear apocalypse? I like how it's going. It's not a nuclear attack, an explosion of a nuclear device. No, it's a nuclear apocalypse that you're surviving for 72 pounds. Jolted awake by a terrifying shriek. After weeks, the fear mongering has to go on, Provide that you have. Okay, let's get to the money. The only expenditure might be around 20 pounds for a shovel, 25 for a pickaxe, if you don't have these tools already, 20 for a roll of 25 meters plastic sheeting, and around 7 quid for a few broom handles. What are you doing with the broom handles? It might seem incredible that you could, but yourself, I can't even read it today. It might seem incredible that you could buy yourself protection from nuclear Armageddon for as little as 72 pounds, but this civil defense manual has impeccable credentials. Yeah, especially since it has never been put to the test, right? First published in 1979, it was written by American inventor Crescent Kearney, a mentor electrical and chemical engineering. All right. So what is the idea? What is that you do with your 75 bucks? You dig a hole, right? So, you can survive nuclear Armageddon by digging a hole and hiding underneath. Now, you want to get serious about it? I like the clickbait title. I think it was nice. It made me click. Hopefully it made you click too, but I'll be a little bit nicer than the Daily Mail people and give you some actual useful information. Look, there's often this overreaction and exaggeration about nuclear Armageddon, which sounds very ironic or crazy just saying it, but really, the thing is that if there is an explosion of a nuclear device, it does not mean that the entire world goes up in flames. These things have been used before. It is very sad. It is very tragic. It is still very much freaking bomb, but it has the component of the nuclear and radioactive threat. Now, the reality, though, is that people, as always, don't know shit about any of this thing and just go by what they see in movies, what they saw in video games. The reality is that if we go by those manuals that they're making reference to, and these manuals are very solid in terms of some of the information of how you deal with nuclear threats, especially in terms of a radioactive fallout, it goes down this way. Basically, you have to stay away from the radiation for, at the very least, 72 hours. Even better, 2 weeks. After 2 weeks of being in a bunker, which it does not have to be, one of these $500,000 bunkers. When you talk about a fallout shelter, and it used to be that these manuals, they were talking about using the basement that you probably already have. So in your basement, you just make sure you stay away from windows, you put as much mass and material. And in these civil defense manuals, they used to mention the use of sandbags a lot. So you would put you would make like a little shelter like kids do with couches, using the couch and some some cushions and stuff like that. You make a cushion shelter, right? Like a kid playing, but you do it with boards, 2x4s, or compressed wood, and put sandbags. Basically making your own shelter within the basement itself. Why? Because the more dirt you have, the more you're gonna be blocking those the radiation from the explosion, right? Now, also, you have to understand that it is one thing to have an explosion like this, and it's another to have a disaster involving radioactive waste. Like, for example, in Chernobyl, right? Chernobyl still unlivable. Why is it that you have people living in Japan, in places that have been, have seen just this, and now they are some of the more thriving cities you could ever visit? They're looking very well. People are living there, and the levels of radiation are more than acceptable. You can be there without any problem. Why? Well, because the material goes into the explosion. All of that is going into energy. The energy is the one that causes all of the destruction. Now, when you have a leak, or you have an accident, an industrial or some kind of problem with a nuclear power plant, and there's leaking, well, all of that material is not transformed into energy. It's just leaking into the environment. That's why you have pollution for I don't know how many thousands of years or so on, right? So there's a big difference, and people think it's all the same. No, yes, fallout is a threat. Fallout is a thing, but after 2 weeks, you're pretty much good. And there are things you maybe want to get besides having a shovel. You want to get the pills, the iodine pills, is it? Well, that's something I covered here in the channel before. I'll leave links for those things as well. You want to have that protection. You want to have the protection that you see over there. Masks. The mask has to not breathe in all of this stuff. But you can basically build. You don't even need to spend the 72 pounds. You don't need even to spend that. If you have a basement, you just need to move around stuff. Maybe have a few sandbags already in place. Maybe have a furniture or books, whatever mass you have. The more mass, it's usually going to be that a couple feet of dirt is going to be blocking most of what you need to block. Dirt is very good at blocking stuff. That's why you go with something like this. Lead, yeah, sure, that would be great. You don't usually have like a big piece of lead to put against anything, but dirt, sand in bags, sure, you can do that. Even if you don't have any of this, even if you're like in an apartment, right? The idea is just avoid the rooms that are more exposed. If you are like in an apartment building, in the bathroom, if you're away from the exterior walls, you have a very good chance of, if you have the supplies so as to make it in there for a couple of weeks, your chances of survival are actually very good. Make sure that if you have to leave after that, you have a proper gas mask. Again, I'll leave the links as always there if you want to buy one of these things, if you don't have it already, which you probably should. And you're going to need an NBC mask, something that is rated for nuclear, biological, and chemical agents, which is what you're looking to block here. But it's something I talked with David Jones, the guy that is expert in nuclear and biological protection. He was saying that it's not really all that complicated unless you get just blown to pieces in the blast. If what you're worrying about is the fallout, just doing these things, and if you can't do it for a couple of weeks, it's going to be 99.9% drop on that radiation threat that you're looking at. Guys, that's going to be all for now. See you in the next video. Take care.